Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is organic chemistry. In organic chemistry, again in organic chemistry, here we are going to study about basic concepts of organic chemistry. Basic concepts of organic chemistry. So what are these, or what is this organic chemistry? So organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of organic compounds. Then what are these organic compounds? So the compounds generally are two types. One is inorganic compounds and organic compounds. So the compounds which are derived from non-living sources, that are from sea, from rock, etc. That are your non-living compounds, derived from non-living compounds, that are inorganic compounds. So calcium sulfate, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, sodium nitrate, borax, all these are some examples of inorganic compounds. But when we go through the compounds which are derived from living sources, that is plants and animals, that are organic compounds. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, then DNA, RNA, so all these compounds are generally organic compounds. So the the compounds which are generally derived from living sources, the compounds that derived from living sources are known as organic compounds, living organisms. This is called organic compounds. And the organic compounds generally contain two elements, that is carbon and hydrogen. And all other compounds of organic compounds generally derived from carbon and hydrogen. So in this way we can say that the organic compounds are the compounds of hydrogen and carbon and the derivatives. So and its derivatives. So the compound of carbon and hydrogen, what you know, that is methane, ethane, okay, benzene, these are alcohol, ethyl alcohol, glucose. So all these are some organic compounds, that are the compounds of carbon and hydrogen. So along with carbon and hydrogen, the organic compounds also contain some other elements like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogen, etc. Also contains this type of other elements. And some compounds, suppose we say about carbon tetrachloride, CCl4. Although it does not contain hydrogen, so all these chlorines atoms are substituted from hydrogen. In this is known as the derivative of methane. So this is also one organic compound. So the compounds of hydrogen and carbon and their derivatives are known as organic compounds. And the organic compounds plays important role in our everyday life. It has maximum vast applications in modern life. It has vast application. Look, only two elements can constitute this organic compound. But you know, about 118 elements were discovered. Among the 118 elements, two elements are responsible for the formation of organic compounds, while all other elements generally form the inorganic compounds. So although two elements from the organic compounds, the number of organic compounds is larger than that of inorganic compounds. So the inorganic compounds maximum it consists of around 30,000 of types of compounds are there, but organic compounds are vast, that is some millions, above some millions. Okay, so in this way organic compounds are large in number. So why organic compounds are large in number, we will discuss later. Next, these organic compounds are application in various fields. So what are the various fields? So it is applicable in food. In the form of food, we use the carbohydrate, protein. So in this way, all these are consist of organic compounds. Similarly, for energy and fuel, it is also organic compounds also provide energy and fuel. Look here, methane, ethane or butane or what are the petrol or kerosene, all these fuels are generally a form of hydrocarbon. So in this way, in fuel also, for fuel, these organic compounds are used. Next, this is also used in medicine. So maximum medicines are made of these organic compounds, whether that are painkiller, analgesics, antipyretics, or different types of compounds or antiseptics. All these are made of these organic compounds. Similarly, organic compounds are also used for our clothing. So organic compounds also provide clothes. For example, cellulose. So cotton is a form of cellulose. So cotton is one type of, we can say that, carbohydrate form. So wool, cotton, these are the natural clothes, natural fibers. Similarly, polyester, nylon. So in this way, there are different types of these are artificial fibers. So all these are generally used for our clothing. Next, organic compounds are also used in the form of for transportation. These are also used for household goods. Different household goods that is made of bakelite, that is made of PVC or polythene. All these are organic compounds. Similarly, organic compounds are also used for explosive, for the preparation of explosive like TNT, that is the trinitrotoluene, or dynamite. So all these are some forms. All these are some forms of organic compounds, and organic compounds also used in industry. So in this, organic compounds has vast application. Organic compounds has vast application in our everyday life. In every aspect of life, the organic compounds plays important role. Now come to, so why these organic compounds form, and that too many types of compounds, why there are large number of organic compounds. So organic compounds are large in number, that is due to mainly due to its catenation property. What is the catenation property? The self-linking ability of carbon atom with itself is known as to form the self-linking ability of carbon atom with itself to form the long chain, branch chain compounds of different sizes is known as catenation. And another thing, that carbon generally exhibit tetracovalency. So carbon has electronic configuration 1s to 2s to 2p2. So 4 electrons in its valency shell. So removal of 4 electrons is difficult, and addition of 4 electrons to this carbon atom is also difficult. In this way, carbon form covalent compound. So as it forms, and it can share its 4 electrons. As it can share its 4 electrons, in this way carbon exhibit tetracovalency. So another thing, carbon also undergo different types of hybridization in different compounds, that is sp, sp2 and sp3. So I have already told you, if the carbon atom is surrounded by only four sigma bond, that is your sp3 hybridized carbon. In generally carbon atom undergo sp3 hybridization. Similarly, if the carbon atom surrounded by 3 sigma bond and 1 pi bond, then the carbon is sp2 hybridized. So in alkane, generally carbon atom undergo sp2 hybridized. Similarly, if the carbon atom surrounded by 2 sigma bond and 2 pi bond, that is your sp hybridized. In the form of alkyne, generally carbon atom undergo sp hybridization. So it has the ability to undergo sp2, sp3 hybridization. It has tetracovalency nature, and it has catenation property. So due to which the carbon atom form large number of compounds of different chains, of high molecular mass, of low molecular mass, some straight chain compound, some branch chain compounds, some ring compounds. So in this way, carbon form large number of Okay. So next, so here write down some introduction. So the branch of chemistry deals with the study of organic compounds is known as organic chemistry. For the compounds which are obtained from plant and animal sources are known as organic compounds, except the carbon dioxide or oxides of carbon. Okay. So the compounds of hydrocarbons and their derivatives are known as organic compounds. Organic compounds have a wide range of applications in various fields such as in food, fuel, medicine, clothing, transportation, household goods, in luxuries, explosives, industries, etc. So carbon has different properties. So carbon, the characteristics of carbon atom by virtue of which it forms a tetracovalent bond with in its compounds is known as tetracovalency. That is because of its high ionization enthalpy. So removal of 4 electrons is difficult and also receival of 4 electrons is also difficult. In this way, carbon forms bond, generally forms compound by sharing its electrons. So in this way it can form 4 covalent bonds. Okay. Next, so carbon has unique property that is called catenation. So due to its catenation, carbon can form long chain compounds as well as straight chain compounds as well as ring compounds. So large number of compounds can be formed of carbon atom that is due to the property that is called catenation. So in this way, due to this catenation, so it can form in this way this long chain compounds. It can it can also form the branch chain compounds like this. It can also form ring compounds like this. So that is due to one thing is tetracovalency, another is high. Okay, so these are the ring compound, branch chain compound, straight chain compounds of different length it can form. Okay. Next, so carbon has general properties called catenations, the self-linking ability of an atom of the atoms of the same element. Okay, so different atoms of the same element when linked together, it is called the catenation property. And catenation property of carbon atom is due to its high bond enthalpy, high bond energy. Okay. So another thing, carbon atoms generally undergo all the types of hybridization, sp, sp2 and sp3 hybridization in their compounds. Already we have discussed how to assign the hybridization of carbon atom and also what is the sigma bond and pi bond. So for just a preview, revision, I have asked you 2 questions. How many sigma and pi bonds are present in each of the following? And here predict the type of hybridization of carbon atom in each of the following. So this is your homework for you. So I think you can solve it. Next come to classification of organic compounds. So the organic compounds are classified in different ways. One on the basis of structure and these are also classified on the basis of functional group. So on the basis of the structure, these organic compounds are classified generally into 2 types. Okay, so on the basis of structure it's classified into 2 types. One is your acyclic compound. Acyclic compound, that means not cyclic, acyclic compound, or we can say open chain compound. Organic compounds. So acyclic compound or open chain compounds, also known as aliphatic compounds. Aliphatic compounds. And another is known as cyclic compound, also known as closed chain compounds. Closed chain compound, also known as the ring compounds. So acyclic or open chain compound means if the first carbon atom and the last carbon atom are not joined by a single bond, that is not joined by any common bond, then that is known as open chain compounds. So it is further classified into 2 types. One is straight chain compound, straight chain compound. Another is branched chain compound, branched chain compound. For example, look here. So suppose there is CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. In this way, so this is the straight chain compound. And branch chain compound is some groups, if instead of hydrogen, some other carbon atom is joined here, and these are called your branch chain compound. These are called alkyl groups. So in this way, these are known as branch chain compounds. Okay, so this is branch chain compound. This is a straight chain compound. It may again these are classified into two types. They may be saturated or unsaturated. That means the saturated compounds are alkane and the unsaturated compounds are either alkenes or alkynes. This is again classified as saturated and unsaturated, and here also classified as saturated and unsaturated. So these are again of the straight chain compounds may be saturated, unsaturated. The branch chain compounds are also may be saturated and unsaturated. Then cyclic compounds. So where the first carbon and the last carbon are joined by a bond, so that it forms a ring-like structure that is called closed chain structure or cyclic compounds or ring compound. For example, so here the carbon atoms are there. These are look here CH2, CH2 and CH2. Similarly CH2, 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 CH2. So what is the first carbon and the last carbon? These are joined by a single bond that are known as your cyclic compound or closed chain compounds or ring compounds. So these compounds are again classified into two types. One is known as a homocyclic compound, another known as heterocyclic compound. So these are again classified into two types. One is homocyclic and another known as heterocyclic. So in the cyclic compounds, if all the atoms are joined by, all the atoms are linked by only the carbon atom, that is called homocyclic compound or carbocyclic compound, because carbon is present at each point. So in the cyclic compound, if the carbon is present, that is called homocyclic compound or carbocyclic compound, and except carbon, if all other atoms like oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. are present in the chain, then that is in the chain, when the chain is formed in the chain, if all other atoms like oxygen, sulfur, halogens are present, and then that is called the heterocyclic compound. For example, some heterocyclic compounds are like here. This is your furan. If oxygen, this is called furan. Okay, so this is furan. Similarly, another compound is called thiophene. If sulfur is there, this is called thiophene. If nitrogen is there, this is your pyrrole. Okay, so this is pyrrole, and if another is here, pyridine, nitrogen is there. So in this way, this is pyridine. So in this way, there are different types of heterocyclic compounds. Okay, these homocyclic compounds, where all the bonds are linked by only carbon atom in the chain. These are only the carbon atom present. That is your homocyclic compound. In the homocyclic compound, again classified into two types. One is known as your allycyclic compound. Allycyclic compound. Another known as your aromatic compound. Aromatic compound. So allycyclic compound means allycyclic. Allycyclic means similar to this aliphatic compound. These are named saturated or unsaturated. So what I have written here first, that is your cyclopropane. This is your cyclobutane. or cyclobutene or cyclopentane. So all these are similar to that of your hydrocarbons, similar in nature, and that are known as your but similar to the open chain compounds where the link is closed, that are known as your alicyclic compounds. These may be saturated or unsaturated. And aromatic compounds, so aromatic compounds are those which have characteristic aroma, and generally they have more number of unsaturation bonds. Although they have more number of unsaturation bonds, they do not undergo addition reaction, rather they undergo substitution reaction. So that are some characteristics of aromatic compounds, and generally they contain 4n plus 2 number of pi electrons. Generally they contain 4n plus 2 number of pi electrons, that are known as aromatic compounds. So the aromatic compounds will show the characteristics of aromaticity, that are known as aromatic compounds. We will discuss later we will discuss about these aromatic compounds. And these aromatic compounds are again classified into two types. One is known as benzenoid, another known as non-benzenoid. So in this way, they are classified into different types. Okay, so this is just the skeleton of classification. Now let us study about what are the points. So organic compounds are classified in two ways. That is classification on the basis of carbon skeleton and classification on the basis of functional group. So let us discuss first classification on the basis of carbon skeleton. So there are two types: open chain, aliphatic or acyclic compound, and another cyclic compounds. So the organic compounds which have open chain of carbon atoms, straight or branch, saturated or unsaturated, are called aliphatic or acyclic compounds. So here the first and last, there is no common bond between the first and last carbon atom. In this way, no ring closure is there. So these are some examples are there. Okay, so these are the straight chain compound. This is a branch chain. This is the straight unsaturated chain. This is saturated chain. This is unsaturated and branched chain. So in this way, these are of different types. Next, closed chain or cyclic or ring compounds. The organic compounds which have closed chain or ring structure are called closed chain or cyclic compounds. Here the first and the last carbon atoms have a common bond between the first and last carbon atom. Okay, so the cyclic compounds are of two types. It is homocyclic or carbocyclic compound and heterocyclic compound. So homocyclic, the cyclic or ring compounds contain only carbon atoms in the closed chain are called homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds. So here carbon. Here also carbon. In this case also all cases it contains your carbon. Okay, homocyclic or compounds, and they are called there are two types: homocyclic and heterocyclic compound. So homocyclic compound again classified into two types, that is alicyclic compound and aromatic compounds. So alicyclic compounds, the homocyclic compounds like cyclopropane, cyclobutane, cyclopentane, cyclohexane, in all cases which contains only the carbon atom is known as the alicyclic compounds. So note down this. So look at aromatic compounds. The ring compounds containing 4n plus 2 number of delocalized pi electrons, or 4n plus 2 pi electrons are delocalized. The n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this are called aromatic compounds. And these aromatic compounds are again classified into two types, that is called benzenoid and non-benzenoid. So which has a benzene structure fused with some other alkyl groups or fused with some other rings, but have a common benzene structure, that is known as your benzenoid aromatic compounds. Any other aromatic compounds which obey the Huckel's rule, that is it has 4n plus 2 number of delocalized pi electron, but it does not have a benzene structure, that is known as the non-benzenoid aromatic compounds. And what is the Huckel's rule? What is Huckel's rule? What is Huckel's rule of aromaticity? We will discuss later when we are going to study about the aromatic compounds. But just here for introduction, the classification, these are your aromatic compounds. So heterocyclic compound. The cyclic compounds having one or more heteroatoms like oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. in the ring are called heterocyclic compound. So in the chain, here all are the carbon atom. This is homocyclic. In the chain, this is linked by any other atom, heteroatom like oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen. These are your heterocyclic compound. Some examples. This is called furan. If instead of oxygen, this is sulfur. This is known as thiophene. If there is nitrogen, then this is known as a pyrrole, and this is known as a pyridine. Okay, here sulfur, here nitrogen, and here sulfur, nitrogen is there. There are also all different types of. There are also different types of all other different types of heterocyclic compounds like quinoline, purine, pyrimidine. Okay, so we'll discuss later about this. Next, come to classification on the basis of functional groups. So, organic compounds are classified into different depending on the functional groups present. So, these are classified as alcohols. If this is presence of functional group is so except these hydrocarbons, that is alkanes and cycloalkanes, all the structure of the organic compounds are characterized by some structural groups, by some other atoms, presence of some other atoms, so which are responsible for the physical and chemical properties of these compounds. So that are known as the functional groups. Okay. For example, if there is presence of OH, the organic compounds are classified as alcohols, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids, amines, etc. depending on the functional groups present, like OH. If there is presence of CHO, aldehyde, this is presence of CO, this is known as ketones. If there is presence of CO, OH group, that is known as carboxylic acid. If there is presence of NH2 group, that are known as amines. Okay, so in this way, these are different types of different types of organic compounds. So what is a functional group? An atom or group of atom which presents that are responsible for the physical and chemical properties of the substances or the compounds that are known as functional groups. So these are different functional groups. Similarly, other functional groups are esters, amides, anhydrides. So there are different types of functional groups. Okay. Next, there are functional groups. Next is what is meant by homologous series. So homologous series means a series of similarly constituted compounds where each successive member differ by a CH2 unit, or that each successive member, that atomic mass differ by 14 units, that are known as a homologous series. For example, look here, in the case of alcohol, CH3OH, methyl alcohol, C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol, C3H7OH, propyl alcohol, C4H9OH, it is butyl alcohol. So when we consider, they have the same general formula, that is CnH2n plus 1 and OH. So all the homologous series have homologous series. All the homologous series have same general formula, that is CnH2n plus 1 OH, where n may be any number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. In this is CH3OH, C2H5OH, C3H7OH, C4H9OH, and each successive member the difference is by CH2, differ by CH2. Each successive member differ by CH2, and their atomic mass difference, find out the molecular mass between the molecular mass difference between these two. The molecular mass difference between any two successive units differ by 14 units. So in this way, these are known as the homologous series. So in the homologous series, they have same general formula, they have general methods of preparation, and there is a gradation in on their physical properties, and they have similar chemical properties. Okay, so these are your homologous series, and each member of this homologous series are known as homologs. So these are homologs. Okay, similarly, if you consider formaldehyde, aminosphaldehyd, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, this CH3CHO, acetaldehyde, propanaldehyde, CH3CH2, CHO. So these are also these constitute similar constituent compounds. They have same general formula. They have same similar functional groups. The same functional group. They have same methods and similar methods of preparation. They have similar chemical properties and a regular gradation in their physical properties. So that are known as homologous series. Okay. Now note down these points. So classification on the basis of functional group, the organic compounds are classified on the basis of such as alcohols, aldehyde, ketones, carbonic acid, amine, etc. depending upon the nature of the functional groups like OH, CHO, CO, COH, and next to respectively. Okay. So functional group may be defined as an atom or group of atoms that are responsible for the characteristics properties of an organic compound. These are some functional groups. For example, CH3CH2OH, here OH is the functional group. If it is written CH3CHO, then COH, this is known as the functional group. If it is written CH3COH, acetic acid, then COOH, this is the functional group. Okay? Next come to homologous series. So a series of similarly constituted organic compounds having same functional group where two consecutive members differ in their molecular formula by CH2 group. So each successive member differs by CH2 group, but they have the same general formula. This is known as a homologous series. The different members of the series are known as homologous. For example, methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, propyl alcohol, butyl alcohol, they have the formula CH3OH, CH3CH2OH, CH3CH2CH2OH, B2CH3CH2CH2OH. So each successive member differ by CH2 group, differ by CH2 group, differ by CH2 group, or 14 atomic mass unit. So what is the characteristics of homologous series? All members are represented by the same general formula. For example, here alcohols are represented by CnH2n plus 1 OH. So count here, N is any number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So this is CH3OH, C2H5OH, CC7, C3H7OH, C4H9OH. In this is CnH2nOH. All have the same general formula and they contain the same functional group. Okay, they contain the same functional group. Two successive members are differed by forming CH2 unit group or 14 atomic mass unit. They have similar methods of preparation, that is called general methods of preparation, and their chemical properties are also similar. Similar way they react with other species. There is a regular gradation in their physical properties. Okay, note down this. Next come to nomenclature of organic compounds. So these organic compounds are named in various ways. So generally two types are important. One is known as the tribal name or common name. Tribal name or common name, and another is known as the IPAC system or IPAC system. IPAC system of naming and tribal name or common name system. Okay, a tribal name or common name system, and another is known as the IPAC system. So this is the IUPAC, this is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. According to that, there are some rules by which we have to name the organic compounds. So tribal name or common name is the name of the organic compounds. So this is according to the source from which these are derived. So different countries, the name of this compound may be different. For example, methane is also known as Mars gas. Okay, in the Marseille area, this is generally found. This is known as your Mars gas. Similarly, methyl alcohol, that is also known as your wood alcohol or wood spirit, because that is derived from destructive distillation of wood. Similarly, by the distillation of red ant, that is known as a formicus. So formic acid is derived from the distillation of red ant, that is formicus. This is known as a formic acid. Similarly, the acid found in citrus fruit, that is known as a citric acid. Ethyl alcohol, that is generally derived by the fermentation of grains, this is known as your grain alcohol. In this way, in different area, the name of the compounds are different, so they equal to different languages. In this way, it become more confusion to remember the name of the compounds. So in this way, a rule is derived, that is known as your IUPAC system, that is the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. According to this IUPAC system, there are some rules by which, by observing this, by these rules, we can name, by following the rules, we can name the name of organic compound. So in the IUPAC system of nomenclature, this name consists of three parts. One is known as word root. In IUPAC system, this consists of the name of an organic compound consists of three parts. One is known as word root, another known as your prefix, and another known as your suffix. So name of any organic compound consists of generally three parts: word root, prefix, and suffix. So word root, that represents the long continuous chain of carbon atom. So this represents the number of carbon atoms, or we can say the long continuous chain of carbon atoms. For example, if this is C1, the word root is meth. C2 carbon, word root is eth. C3 word root is pro. 4 word root is but. 5 word root is pen. 6 word root is hex. For 7 word root is hect. For 8 word root is oct. For 9 word root is. For 10 word root is deck. For 11 it is on deck. For 12 that is door deck, etc. In this way. So how many number of carbon atoms that represent the long continuous chain of carbon, or how many number of carbon atoms present that represents the word root. So these are word roots. Okay, so note down this. Next, suffix. So suffix generally classified into two types. One is known as your primary suffix, another known as your secondary suffix. So this suffix is of two types. One is known as your primary suffix, another known as your secondary suffix. So the primary suffix represents the carbon-carbon linking. Primary suffix represents carbon-carbon linking. Carbon-carbon linkage. It represents the carbon-carbon linkage. For example, if this is carbon-carbon single bond in all cases present, then that is known as your ANE. After this word root, ANE is used. If this carbon-carbon single bond is present, then ENE is used. If this carbon-carbon triple bonds are present, then YNE is used. Okay, so single bond ANE, double bond ENE, and triple bond YNE. If more number of double bond are present, suppose more number of double bond are present, then di, tri, tetra, etc. are used before this ENE, and extra A is added after the word root. Extra A is added after the word root. Similarly, if the triple bond is also present, more number of double bonds or triple bonds are present, then di, tri, tetra, etc. are used before the primary suffix, and after the word root. For example, look here. Suppose this is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So this is the long chain of carbon. This is 4 carbon atom. So the word root is what here? Word root is bute. And as all are your single bonds, in this way the name is ABE. So this is butane. This is butane. But look here, if this is CH3, CH double bond CH and CH3, there is one double bond present, 4 carbon atoms are there, bute, word root is bute, and double bond as ENE. So the primary suffix added here, this is ENE, butene. Okay, and here also you have to write what is the position of this bond. Position of this double bond we will discuss later. And another look here, if this is CH2, if there is another is given, is CH2, then double bond CH, single bond CH, double bond CH2. Here two double bonds are present. But what is the word root? The word root is bute and ENE. And there are two double bonds are present. In this way, numerical prefix di is used, and as the numerical di is used, and extra letter A is used after the word root. So in this way, this compound is bute, then A, then di, ENE. So the name of this compound is butadiene. Still, you have to write what is the position that we will discuss later. Okay. So this is butadiene. For speaking, this is butadiene, this is butene, and this is butane. Single bond. So word root and primary suffix are there. Okay. So primary suffix represents the carbon-carbon linkage, double bond, triple bond, or single bond. Okay. Next, come to secondary suffix. So secondary suffix represents a functional group. It represents a functional group. So when we write the secondary suffix, for example, for alcohol we use OL, for aldehyde we use AL, for ketone we use ONE, for carboxylic acid we use OIC acid, for amine we use amine, for amides we use amide. In this way, these are some functional groups. So when we use the secondary suffix, at that time we have to omit what is if the secondary suffix started with a vowel letter, that is A, E, I, O, U. If the secondary suffix started with a vowel letter, O, A are given. If any other is there, if the secondary suffix started with a vowel letter, then we have to drop this E. We have to drop this E from the primary suffix. So secondary suffix are some functional groups. Primary suffix represents the carbon-carbon linkage. Okay. For example, it is given CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. Then what is the name of this compound? So this name of this compound we can write 1, 2, 3 is there. So word root is pro, 3 carbon atom is there. Word root is pro. And what is the linkage of carbon-carbon? All the carbon-carbon linkage is the single bond. in this way, A-N-E, propane. But OH is there. For OH, the functional group is ON. So for this ON started with a vowel, that is O. In this, you have to draw this E and write propanol. So name of this compound is propanol. Okay. So this is the word root. This is the primary suffix, and this is the secondary suffix. Okay. Next come to what is the prefix. So the word used before the word root are the prefix. The word used before the word root, that are prefixes. So what are prefixes? So prefixes are different alkyl groups. Different alkyl groups, or we can say substituents. Different alkyl groups or substituents, these are prefixes. Or what are the prefixes? Or less important, less priority functional groups. If more than two functional groups are present, then one functional group has more priority than the other. So which has more priority, for that we use suffix, and which has less priority, for that we use the prefix. Okay. And another, these are some functional groups like halogen. For all halogen, that is halo is used, nitro group, NO2 is used, and for alkyl, so halo group, nitro group, halo group X. For example, this is chlorine, this is known as chloro. If this is chlorine, known as chloro. If this is iodine, then known as iodo. So in this way, chloro, iodo. So these are used as prefixes, and for number of carbon atoms, these are the word root, and this is the suffix. And how to name the prefixes, how to name these prefixes, and how to name these suffixes, and how to name the compounds, that we'll discuss in next class.